Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. This is another of my fictional short stories. This one is called My Last Mile. 5,280. I just got a fatal diagnosis and shuffled out numb. 5,200. I walked, I thought, and concluded there are no answers other than be grateful I'm a positive person and hope to keep that throughout my last mile. Oh, and I decided to do my bucket list trip, Paris. 5,100. I spent a whole day at the Louvre. Of course I enjoyed staring at Mona Lisa's secretive face, but maybe even more. I felt some peace in watching the school classes of children. In my last mile here, I found myself hoping that the next generation won't dismiss our beautiful culture, now that's widely sneered at by the woke. I sat for a couple hours in a cafe bistro and was balmed in seeing the young couples in the flower of younger adulthood. The one disappointment was the five-star restaurant in Paris. If there had been a pleasure meter attached to my brain, it would have registered that I enjoyed my steak and frites at the little bistro more than at the wildly more expensive restaurant with its turbo filet, poivrade, artichoke, spinach shoots, and mushroom at the frou-frou restaurant. Besides, I've never liked being fussed over, let alone by a waiter who probably makes minimum wage and believes less in eating fussy food than in eating the rich. I didn't like having a waiter unfold a napkin and put it on my lap. 4,800. I was glad to be back home. It wasn't just the fatigue of the trip atop my disease. I find travel, indeed any major changes from my comfortable routine, draining. But now what? More staring, more walking to psych myself up for the chemo? The doctor said it could help, at least for a while. Should I do it? I wasn't brave enough to just say no. 4,600. The chemo treatment room wasn't what I expected. The room had a dozen patients, each getting their cocktail. I was tempted to call it poison, but I've really tried to stay positive. 4,000. It's 3 days after the chemo, and sparing you the details, I'm glad I'm back to normal, at least my new and albeit deteriorating normal. Filled with gratitude and reminded of the hourglass of sands dropping faster, I decided I'd swallow and try to rapproche with my wife. You see, she and I never really should have gotten married. The sexual attraction colored our more important differences, temperament, values, and let's just say, we didn't equally value being kind. But it's not like I hated her, and now I thought, well, why not see what happens if we meet? So I phoned her. She took a long time, maybe 15 seconds, before she muttered, okay. Unlike in the movies, nothing dramatic happened when we met, only small talk actually. Before we said goodbye, we knew it would be goodbye forever. I told her that I preferred she not be at my bedside when I was dying, both so she can avoid that difficult time, and I didn't want to be embarrassed at what likely would not be a pleasant sight. Without hesitation, she nodded, held my hand for a moment, but didn't look me in the eye and said, I wish you well. I said, you too. And more quickly than I had hoped, she strode out. 3,500. I had what the doctors sanitizingly call an exacerbation, and had to be ambulanced to the emergency room. I had to wait 6 hours while they took all sorts of more urgent cases. For example, a young man who had been stabbed in a gang fight, and a morbidly obese woman who was so dizzy she couldn't get out of the chair, and 3 orderlies had to get her onto a gurney. 3,000. I had long felt I didn't want to write my memoir. It seemed too self-absorbed, especially since my life had been pretty average. But now I decided to dictate a few hundred words of my favorite memories and ask my ex-wife if she would read it aloud at my memorial. I did plan my memorial. Cremation. Invite just the few people who'd really want to be at my memorial. Soft, comforting music, whatever my ex-wife liked. No more than 3 eulogies, brief ones, and without exaggeration of how great I was. 2,500. I had a bad, exacerbation. I chose then to have in-home hospice care. Just make me as comfortable as you can. 1. I'm trying to comfort my nurse who is crying, and I believe these words that I'm saying to you now will be my last. Goodbye, and do good. Anyway, that fictional short story is called My Last Mile. As usual, I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments and especially like it if you hit the share button below. Share on your social media so that my efforts can have broader impact. And I am flattered if you choose to subscribe to my channel, and certainly would welcome you taking a look at any of my 32 books. The one most relevant to this one is Senior Stories, but all 32 are on Amazon. Just go there, search out my name, Marty Nemko, Nemko, and you will find more than you can stomach. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.